This video presentation is intended for educational purposes only and is not intended to be the only definitive source of information on the topics presented. This video does not endorse or promote one specific safety device over another. If after viewing this video you have unanswered questions or concerns on any of the topics presented, it is recommended that you contact other recognized experts on the subjects of injury and fire prevention.
Hi, welcome to Crossing the Line, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue's Community Information Program. I'm your host, Elise Weintraub-Brown. On today's segment, we're going to focus on carbon monoxide poisoning and how to be aware of the different exposure threats around your home and your everyday lifestyle. What can you do to protect yourself? First, let's hear from Chief Anderson.
Carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless gas which is the result of burning fuels, gasoline, natural and LP gas, things like that. When things burn, they give off certain levels of carbon monoxide. The better the burning process, the less carbon monoxide comes off. The more incomplete the burning process, the more carbon monoxide comes off. And it's a carbon atom bonded to an oxygen. Well, it's dangerous for a couple different reasons. One is as you breathe it in, where you normally would transfer oxygen into your blood and carbon dioxide out of your blood, the normal breathing process, actually carbon monoxide, the red blood cells actually really like carbon monoxide, and they pick it up a lot easier than they do oxygen. So it's picking up those carbon monoxide molecules rather than the oxygen molecules. So what it's essentially doing is it's suffocating you at that level. Carbon monoxide detectors, they're readily available at hardware stores and home improvement stores. And if you have, a garage in your house, or you have gas appliances and things like that, you really should have a carbon monoxide detector in case there's a malfunction or somebody accidentally leaves a vehicle running and so on. What you need to do is you need to leave immediately, leave your house immediately, because that's telling you there's a danger. Leave the house immediately so you get outside to fresh air, and you need to call 911 and let the 911 operator know what's going on there. And then not go back in the house, stay out of the house.
Thank you, Chief Anderson, for getting us started on the topic of carbon monoxide poisoning. Next, we're going to go to Captain Joe Nelson and Community Education Specialist Jeff Hines, and they're going to have a discussion about golf carts and why do CO alarms sound in the presence of homes that have golf carts in the garage.
Hello, I'm Jeff Hines with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue's Community Education Division. Today we'll cover a topic all too familiar with our first responders and the public we serve, carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is especially dangerous because it is odorless, colorless, and deadly. It renders its victims unconscious, then robs them of life. Today we'll take a closer look at a phenomenon involving carbon monoxide alarms in the presence of golf carts. Recently, there have been numerous 911 calls for carbon monoxide alarms being activated at private residences. Upon arrival, responders would check the home for the usual sources of carbon monoxide, like liquid propane barbecue grills, gasoline generators, and gas-fired water heaters, only to find none of these possible sources present. At many of these calls, a thorough investigation revealed the true culprit of the activations. The one thing present at these locations was a golf cart plugged into a charger, and it was determined that golf cart batteries were found to be off-gassing hydrogen and causing a false positive for carbon monoxide alarms located in the home. To explain this phenomenon and how it occurs is one of our district captains, Joe Nelson. What is the issue with golf carts and carbon monoxide alarms?
The golf carts, when they're charging, they use lead acid batteries, and as those charge, they emit a little bit of hydrogen gas. The carbon monoxide monitors have electrochemical sensors that normally screen out other gases that would interfere with them, but hydrogen manages to make it inside, and it'll give a reading just like it was reading carbon monoxide even when there's none present.
Captain Nelson, will a carbon monoxide alarm sound every time a golf cart battery is being charged?
It's usually a question of the concentration of the gas. You know, you can have it charging for a long time and you won't have a problem. And for whatever reason, older batteries or batteries that might have cells that are starting to go bad, they'll emit more than the normal amount of hydrogen. So when before it wasn't building up and you weren't getting a problem, suddenly you will. And you'll kind of have recurring episodes of the carbon monoxide detectors going off. It won't happen necessarily all the time. It's just when it emits enough and it manages to build up enough to trigger the sensor.
Is there a health concern to people due to the batteries off-gassing hydrogen?
Now, the hydrogen gas doesn't have the toxic properties that the carbon monoxide does. And the hydrogen's being emitted in much smaller amounts. It is a flammable gas, but normally there's not enough present to be a flammability hazard, and it's not toxic, so you're not going to have the same health effects. But it will give similar readings to dangerous levels of carbon monoxide. So it's not so much that the hydrogen gas that's being emitted is dangerous, it's just that it's going to give you an alarm and you need to investigate it and make sure that indeed is the source and that you don't have carbon monoxide accumulating for some other reason.
Where should golf carts be placed when charging the batteries?
It's okay to charge the golf carts in the garage. You should make sure that your garage is well ventilated, that you keep the door shut between the garage and the residence. And if you start to get those alarms, it's probably indicating to you that your battery may need to be replaced or may need some maintenance. So if you keep the batteries maintained, you keep the garage ventilated, then you shouldn't have a problem. You should be able to charge it inside the garage just fine.
Is Palm Beach County Fire Rescue responding to a lot of these carbon monoxide alarms?
It's a new phenomenon for us, and I think it's because carbon monoxide monitors in the home used to be very rare, and now they're very common. And I think as more people get carbon monoxide monitors, and they're in the homes, then we're going to see more of this. So I expect it to be an increasing problem, more common. As a result of the crews running these calls, we're starting to get very familiar with the causes, and we're able to determine very quickly whether it's carbon monoxide or whether it's hydrogen from the batteries charging.
How does Palm Beach County Fire Rescue approach and respond to these calls?
You always want to approach a carbon monoxide alarm as if it's real and take the same precautions. Get everybody out of the house, investigate possible causes. There are only a few things in people's homes that would emit carbon monoxide gas. Typically, it's going to be a running car in a garage, or improperly operated gas-fed appliances, or a generator operating too close to the home. if we can eliminate those causes and there's a battery charging on a golf cart or for some other reason nearby, then we can make a pretty reasonable estimation that that is the cause. But you don't want to just come inside, see a golf cart charging, and immediately jump to that conclusion. We still need to do a proper investigation and make sure that indeed there isn't a source of carbon monoxide present.
If there are multiple golf carts charging, for example at a golf course, are they going to emit more hydrogen, and could those levels be harmful to people?
Like what I was saying before, if you have properly maintained batteries that are charging, the amount of hydrogen is very low. So even with a large number of golf carts, there shouldn't be enough hydrogen to be a flammability concern. Generally, it's an isolated incident. You know, you have an older battery and it's generating more hydrogen than normal, and it's in a small space for a long time. The large golf cart barns tend to be pretty well ventilated and have a large volume, so hydrogen accumulation normally isn't that big of a problem there.
What should people do if their carbon monoxide alarm starts to sound?
The best thing to do if you have a carbon monoxide alarm activate is to get everybody out of the house, open up the garage door, ventilate, and go ahead and call for us, because we want to make sure that that indeed is the cause. Don't just assume when your carbon monoxide detector is going off that it's the golf cart. So get everybody out, open up the door, the garage door, let it ventilate out, and then let us come and investigate it. Because you may have another cause that you're not aware of, and you'd hate to just make that assumption.
Thanks, Captain Nelson. So now you know about the phenomenon of golf cart battery chargers activating carbon monoxide alarms. You also found out about the dangers associated with this odorless, colorless gas that can kill. We found out about what you can do to prevent a false positive alarm, and we learned that no matter what you think the cause of a carbon monoxide alarm is, you should call 911 and let the fire department determine the cause. Remember, get out and stay out until fire department personnel tell you it's safe to go back inside. I'm Jeff Hines. Thanks for watching, and be safe.
Thank you, Jeff and Captain Nelson. Well, hopefully that answered a lot of questions that you may have about carbon monoxide alarms and golf carts. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more after this short break.
Just breathe normally, this will help you. Carbon monoxide is an odorless, colorless, poisonous gas. The Centers for Disease Control reports that over 400 Americans die from carbon monoxide poisoning, and more than 24,000 visit the emergency room every year. If you are experiencing headache, fatigue, shortness of breath, nausea, or dizziness, you may have carbon monoxide poisoning. If you have these symptoms, go outside into fresh air and call 911. For more information, contact our Community Education Division.
Heat stroke, also known as hyperthermia, is the leading cause of non-crash vehicle-related deaths for children. It occurs when the body isn't able to cool itself quickly enough and the body temperature rises to dangerous levels. Young children are particularly at risk as their bodies heat up 3 to 5 times faster than in adults. Heat stroke can happen anytime, anywhere. We don't want to see this happen to any family. Safe Kids and Palm Beach County Fire Rescue wants everyone to act. A. Avoid heat stroke-related injury and death. Never leaving your child alone in a car, not even for a minute. Make sure to keep your car locked when you're not in it, so kids don't get in it on their own. C. Create reminders by putting something in the back of your car next to your child, such as a briefcase, a purse, or a cell phone that is needed at your final destination. This is especially important if you're not following your normal routine. T. Take action. If you see a child alone in a car, call 911. Emergency personnel want you to call. They are trained to respond to these situations. One call could save a life.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over.
When you see lights,
vests,
or reflectors,
please give us some room. Slow down and move over.
When you need us,
we've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back?
Please, slow down
and move over.
Hello, my name is William Stansberry. I am a captain with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. Did you know that hurricane season is fast approaching? Hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th. Before the season begins is the best time to prepare for hurricanes. The number one priority is to install hurricane impact glass or buy hurricane shutters. Another important safety step is to prepare a hurricane survival kit. These kits should include a flashlight and extra batteries, a portable battery-operated weather radio, a first aid kit and manual, emergency food and water. You can never have too much clean water. Non-electric can opener, essential medicines, cash and credit cards, sturdy shoes, a lighter, a full tank of gas in your car, and a safe spot for your homeowner's insurance policy. Before a hurricane strikes, it is important to evacuate the area if evacuation orders are given. Evacuate as soon as possible to avoid heavy traffic. During a hurricane, if you choose to stay in your home, it is important to find a safe place in your home to ride out the storm. An interior room with no windows is the safest location. After a storm has passed, do not go outside until it is safe. Do not walk near down power lines or in puddles. Inspect your home for damage and check out your family and friends to make sure they are safe. If you follow these instructions, you will be prepared for the next hurricane. Let's be safe this hurricane season.
Hey, all the smoke alarms are here tonight.
I just want to say a couple of things about old Hal here. Let's remember, he's a hero and saved this house and family when he spotted that kitchen fire. You've had a good 10 years. We'll miss you, Hal. Hey, it's Hal's replacement. Check out that new technology.
Here, kid. You'll need a fresh one of these. Rookie.
Remember to replace any smoke alarm older than 10 years and replace the batteries in your alarms every year.
The Yellow Dot program alerts first responders to special medical conditions if you or your loved ones are involved in a car accident.
Place this decal on the driver's side rear window, then fill out this emergency information card and place it in your glove box.
If you are involved in an accident, authorities will have immediate access to your vital information, which could save your life.
Since 1990, airbags have saved more than 6,000 American lives. The public has demanded more, not less use of them. When I think about the resistance that fire sprinklers have received, I ask you to consider this. Is the fire sprinkler that can save your life in your home any different than the airbag that can save your life in your car? My son Dominic was killed in a house fire without fire sprinklers. It could be your life, it could be your child's life. Let's protect what we value most. Fire sprinklers save lives every day.
On average, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue responds to almost 1,200 structure fires each year. Most of us should know what to do in case of a structure fire. Unfortunately, our pets do not. Typically, animals will hide when they sense danger. So how can we protect them? By placing one of these pet notification stickers near each entry to your home. This will help firefighters know to look for them when they do their rescue search. These stickers could save the lives of your pets. Get yours today.
Hi, welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. So when someone calls 911 for help and we respond, A call isn't always what it seems to be. As a matter of fact, you're going to hear in this next segment how our own first responders had exposure to carbon monoxide poisoning, but when they responded to the call, they had no idea the environment that they were entering. You're also going to learn why a sick person call is not always just a sick person call.
In this profession, you respond to one call, it may turn into something else, and you have to be prepared for the unexpected. Approximately 9:40 on Saturday, June 19th, we received a call for a medical call. Additional information was it was a person that was conscious and breathing, but not responding properly. We arrived at a single-family residence with a two-car garage. On arrival, it appeared to me that both garage doors were open, and the caretaker met us outside.
She's not acting right. She's speaking, but she's not making any sense.
She went back through the garage door, unlocked the front door so we could have entry into the home. As we entered into the home, it was a large family room, living room, great room, and she said that the patient was over in the bedroom. Hey, how you doing? Are you sure? We evaluated the caretaker for baseline vital signs. She appeared to be answering our questions sluggishly. Her vital signs were within normal limits, what we could establish. And at that point, my driver was telling me she wasn't feeling well.
Dave, I don't feel sick. I feel a little nauseous.
Yeah. Right. Does she normally look like this, breathe this way?
No.
Okay, Mike, go check the other patient over there. Make sure that he's okay. I then had the paramedic check the gentleman who was laying on the bed. He was unresponsive at that point.
Dispatch, rescue, engine 52.
Engine 52.
You respond, another rescue, and also District 4, we have a CO problem.
Understand, District 4 and our rescue 950.
Something triggered in my mind from past experiences that this might be a carbon monoxide call. I then had my crew and myself, we started opening up all the windows and doors, what we could. The windows in the bedroom were fixed pane windows. They could not be opened. The only thing that I could find open in the bedroom was a door which led out to the back pool area. I went and got the exhaust fan, set it up at the front door, while the paramedic got a backboard so we could start removing the patients. When I realized something wasn't right and I had my crew go open up all the doors and windows, the paramedic also went and checked the vehicles in the garage, and both vehicles were stone cold. He was doing this as he went out to get a backboard to get the patient which was laying on the bed. We found out later the reason why the cars were cold were because the car had run out of gas, and also the battery was dead. My main concern was, since I have the building open and being ventilated, to get the patients out as quickly as possible.
Dispatch, engine 52, make that two additional rescues. We have approximately 3 patients.
At that point, Rescue 45 was arriving, 45 and 45 Bravo. I turned the patient over to them, and at that point, a driver and the paramedic had the second patient up to the foyer. I re-entered, assisted them getting her on the backboard, and then they took her outside and turned her over to the other rescue crew. I then went back in, and we used an office chair that was in the house to help facilitate moving the patients. We then I went back in, got the caretaker on the office chair, and the paramedic met me back inside. We wheeled her up to the foyer, and at that point, we had already placed her on oxygen in the house. And we then we assisted her, walking her out to the third rescue crew, which was arriving.
Dispatch, District 4.
District 4, you're going to be responding. Engine 52 is already on scene, requesting 2 rescues and yourself, reference to possible CO2 exposure.
At that point, command had been set up by the district chief, and the 3 of us now became patients, with my driver feeling the most ill effects, who was in the residence the longest. while the paramedic and I were getting additional equipment and moving the patients.
Also notified BCA 4. I probably had at least 3 exposures on firefighters.
As soon as we also exited the building, we all, as oxygen was readily available, we all went up on high flow oxygen.
45 Bravo station had a CO reading greater than 40.
In this profession, you respond to one call, it may turn into something else, and you have to be prepared for the unexpected. Don't focus on the one patient that you're dealing with, but again, look around at your surroundings as you're going in and what else may be going on. If you call for one patient, you may wind up having 2, 3, or as with us, it was 4 patients and the 3 crew members. Carbon monoxide poisoning is something that's been becoming more prevalent. I've been on numerous calls in the past years, especially with hurricane season being people running generators. All the homes that I've been to that I've had calls did not have a carbon monoxide detector. They're readily available, and it's something that can save your life.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's segment. We hope you learned a lot about carbon monoxide poisoning and what you can do to protect yourselves and your family. Also, I don't know how many of you truly realize, but we get a lot of calls, even fatalities unfortunately, from carbon monoxide due to these little things. The key fobs. It's keyless entry. It's a keyless remote way to turn your vehicle on and off these days. It's a brand new technology. Not every driver is used to it. So they have to incorporate new behavior patterns, and muscle memory is a big, big thing. And when 1 or 2 steps are skipped, it can cost a life. So unfortunately, there are some drivers that are mistakenly forgetting to turn their vehicles off. They are actually turning them on by mistake with buttons on these little remote, and it's a big problem. So we urge you to educate yourself. Form some new patterns, some new behaviors. Double check, triple check the vehicles if you park them in the garage. Better yet, don't park them in the garage. That's another layer of protection. And by all means, please get carbon monoxide alarms. Maintain them like you would for your smoke alarms. Get a plan if you hear the carbon monoxide alarm sounding, which is 4 beeps, quick beeps versus 3 slow beeps with the smoke alarm. Know what you're going to do, what your family's going to do, how you're going to react, where you're going to meet outside. Someone needs to call 911 once everyone's out. Get help. Have a plan. Protect yourselves. We urge you, please. It's a matter of life and death. So once again, thank you for joining us. We hope you learned a lot, and we'll see you next time right here on Crossing the Line.